They're losing their sons and daughters and grandchildren, and they're immediately saying Allahu Akbar, and they're immediately turning to Allah in those times.
It shook something in me, and I asked myself, like, what do they have that I don't have? How are they believing in God right now?
I knew that if I was put in the same situation, I would not be saying the same. My faith would not be as steadfast.
The way the Palestinians handled themselves or carried themselves was definitely something that colored my path to Islam.
The whole reason that we wanted to even look into Islam was because of everything happening in Palestine.
Once you see the truth, there's no going back. Unless you want to be just in an ignorant state of mind.
My name is Anna.
My name is Carolina.
My name is Taylor.
My name is Megan Rice.
My name is Nick Fott.
My name is Luis Angel Mejia.
October 7th happened. I started to pay a lot more attention to Islam and to the way that Palestinians were responding to the genocide happening, and it opened my eyes a lot to Islam, and I just found that I was naturally gravitating towards it and like naturally curious about looking into what this religion is exactly. I was seeing these images come out and these videos, and I'm seeing pictures of Palestinians praying amidst the rubble of their homes, and literally no matter what is happening, there's bombs going off in the background. They're losing their sons and daughters and grandchildren, and they're immediately saying Allahu Akbar, and they're immediately turning to Allah in those times. I saw those videos and I was just like, what do these people have that I don't have? I have never had something in my life that I trusted so deeply that in a time like that, I was saying Allahu Akbar or whatever it is. So I was seeing these images and I'm like, yeah, what is this religion? What do they believe in that I don't? Like, what is this thing that they're able to lean on? And that really inspired me to look into Islam.
I just never knew that it would be so brutal and it would last so long. But I just knew that because of the nature of the attack, it was just, and like when they were saying, immediately they were going on saying this is our 9/11, knowing how we reacted to 9/11, it's like Israel is just America. So what we do, they're gonna do, and all they have is their aggression. After October 7th and I started witnessing what was happening on social media, I was doing open mics and I just started getting very disillusioned by like the musicians around me, around the community around me, how nobody was talking about anything happening. Like I was really depressed, really angry. I was really losing my mind because I'm watching this genocide and I couldn't do anything. The way the Palestinians handled themselves or carried themselves during the genocide was definitely something that colored my path to Islam. So I think October 7th, hands down, was when I actually started learning about Islam and was aware of it as an actual religion, as a faith.
When everything started happening, like most Americans, you're seeing what's on blasted all over our TVs, all over even mainstream social media. You're seeing how this whole situation started transpiring. Fortunately, in today's world, we have social media through different avenues. Due to this advantage, that's when we were seeing live videos and pictures of what was actually happening in Palestine. And so I started seeing all of these discrepancies of how terrorism and the perception of Palestinians were being told was completely opposite of what I was seeing on videos. If anything, I started seeing things that I started to admire, seeing people that have been losing everything that they have, losing their family members, their limbs, their homes, and the first things that come out of their mouth is, Allahu Akbar and Alhamdulillah, and praising God, praising Allah. And I couldn't really understand why, after going through so much pain and going through so much just torture from the Israeli government, that's the first thing that came out of their mouth. And so then 2 weeks after that, after October 7th, is when I bought the Quran. And I decided to teach myself. And I wanted to be able to speak to it myself. And I was completely blown away. Completely blown away. It had taught me things that I've never even knew of, that other religions didn't even come close to. I felt like I needed to learn more. I couldn't stop. I felt like this huge veil was lifted off my eyes and I couldn't go back to what I was before. Once you see the truth, there's no going back. Unless you want to be just in an ignorant state of mind, refusing to see the truth, there's just no going back.
And so when October 7th happened and there was just so much misinformation spreading, Palestinian people already having to deal with such horrific events and grief and all just the horrors that we were seeing on our screens of what they had to endure. The very last thing that they needed was also prejudice and harmful rhetoric spreading about their faith, what they held on to get them through such trying times. So that was also probably the biggest factor of why I also picked up the Quran, because I was seeing on my screen every single night, every single morning, throughout the day, children losing their parents, and in the most horrific ways possible that I didn't think I would see live in my lifetime. And what I had noticed time and time again is them praying to Allah. And I knew where I stood spiritually at the time, and I knew that if I was put in the same situation, I would not be saying the same. My faith would not be as steadfast. So I did want to know where that came from for them.
As most Mexicans do, we usually grew up some version of Christianity or Catholicism. So I grew up Catholic. Many years just kind of being told what to do, and just like many other faiths, when you're born in it, you just kind of follow along. I just identified as Catholic, but didn't really practice as much. And when I did practice, it felt a little bit forced, a little bit not, I would say, my calling. In high school, I got diagnosed with chronic depression and anxiety, mainly because I was too lost. I didn't really know what was true anymore. I jumped from Catholicism to Buddhism to spirituality. I was way lost. I ended up having to see a specialist. So the biggest thing for me that made me look more into Islam in that sense is that ever since what's been happening in Palestine, learning more about it, and just seeing the reaction of Palestinians and how they're losing their family members, losing their loved ones, their homeland, and just hearing that they're Muslim. And even though they're losing everything that they have, and they're still thanking God. Every day, alhamdulillah, every day saying, just being thankful to God, and just seeing all those videos coming out from Gaza, it's just like, I think this is what I need in my life.
In 2017, I did take a birthright trip, a free 10-day trip to Israel for people who are of Jewish descent. And I think the intention is partially to go see your homeland. I went into it really naively. I saw it as a cool free trip, and yeah, there's a conflict, but I just saw it as an opportunity to go see another part of the world. I know that was extremely naive of me, and I knew upon getting home I had a lot of work to do, and so I had to do a lot of like unlearning and relearning. So then by the time October 7th happened, I immediately took to social media because I knew what I had seen and I knew my eyes had opened to the truth, right? Calm's only broken when Palestinians decide to stick up for themselves. And I knew that it was a really major act of resistance, but I think I felt a really sense of unease just because I knew what the response was going to be. I so distinctly remember seeing prayer mats laid out and it was just destruction all around, and seeing people pray in the midst of rubble, amidst family members who could be under that rubble, like it shook something in me, and I asked myself, like, what do they have that I don't have? Because I don't think how are they believing in God right now? Like, they are being tested in ways that none of us can possibly imagine, and they are still saying, like, Allah is sufficient for me. Like, how? Throughout the next year and a half, I could not stop consuming content. I was watching YouTube videos, watching lectures, listening to podcasts, reading Quran. I, at that time, started getting really close with a couple other Muslim people, and what's really interesting is we never spoke about religion, not one time, because like I said, I was really keeping this a private journey because I just didn't know where it was going to lead me, and I think I was confused on the feelings I was having and where I was going. But I remember, and I would stop for periods of time, but I would always find myself coming back, and I had never been that way with a religion ever. And I remember listening to a podcast last year, I was driving, and I remember pausing it, and I literally out loud asked myself, why do I care, right? Like, what am I doing? Why do I care about this? And it kind of hit me like it's like when the door opens to Islam, like it's hard to shut.